Good morning. It is 7:14 a.m. on Thursday, October 11th, 2018. I am Christiana Ellis, and I just got up. This is 5 more minutes. Running a little bit slow this morning. Uh, oof. I feel like I was doing pretty well at staying sort of, you know, you know, the never-ending story of my sleep routine. But I was feeling pretty good, but then we had a good D&D session last night, and then that just kind of led to me feeling like I wanted to think more about that, and just I was sort of wired a little bit, and so I didn't go to bed right away, and now I'm tired again, so it's fine. It's fine. But yeah, we did have a very good session last night. It was really fun. The party was being chased by the Lord of the Hunt, which is a very powerful Fey entity that has, many different incarnations in various stories and so on. But very powerful, and the party wisely decided to run away. But we got to have kind of a fun chase where they're essentially just trying to escape to a portal back to where they're currently holing up. And I think it went really well. They got to feel like they did some cool stuff. We established the first sort of face-to-face contact with this entity that they've been aware of for a while, and I think it worked out really well, and I'm just very pleased with it. I think the only thing that was not optimal was that because one of the members of the party had stayed behind originally and leading us to have to kind of do split screen stuff previously, that player didn't have a lot to do during the chase. Anyway, uh, but yeah, it was a good session. So, what? I, yeah, okay. I feel like, yeah, I had something a second ago where I was going to talk more about that, and now I don't remember. I think I'll just sort of arbitrarily toss in a recommendation for a YouTuber named Lindsay Ellis, and that's Lindsay Ellis. No relation. In fact, actually, the same last name had literally not occurred to me until just now, which is bizarre, but whatever. Um, uh, but yeah, she does a lot of film criticism, and especially focusing a lot, but not exclusively, on Disney, and also uh, occasionally tossing in personal, obsessions. Like she talks a lot about the Transformers movies, which is interesting. But I watched one of her videos. Actually, there was a couple of them that were pretty interesting that I watched yesterday. One was about Stranger Things and the recent It movie as examples of deconstructive nostalgia. And I just thought that was really interesting. And then there was another one that was framed as an apology to Stephanie Meyer, who, if you don't know the name, is the author of the Twilight books. And it just talks about how, almost completely independent of the actual quality of those books, the backlash that rose up around the Twilight books, wherein a lot of people expressed their dislike of those books beyond any reasonable proportion of what was deserved by those books, and and that was interesting too. And it just kind of talked a little bit about how, even if they aren't masterpieces, there's a lot of other stuff that gets put out that is not any better and doesn't get the level of hate that those books did. and it's just largely on the basis of maybe some of it's about balancing out success, right? Those books were very successful in terms of selling a lot of copies, and so a backlash rose up to oppose that. But at the same time, that means that the people who bought it and liked it, that's straightforward, right? They liked it. It's everyone, to suit their own. But the backlash people, there's an aspect of that where you could argue that they are only feeling the way they do, or at least to the degree that they feel it, because other people like it, which is not a healthy mindset. And she freely admits in the video that she had engaged in some of that, and so it was now 10 years on that she was reflecting on that and realizing. And so that's why the video is framed as an apology to Stephanie Meyer, which was pretty interesting. So I recommend her as a YouTuber. I think I've actually maybe mentioned her before, but recommendation. So I will also just briefly, before I sign off today, shout out that I am doing the Extra Life marathon again, where I'm going to be playing D&D to raise money for children's hospitals, and there will be a link in the notes below. And I encourage you to follow that up, and donate to help children's hospitals, and that would be good. So that's coming up in a couple weeks, and so in the meantime, I'll talk to you all tomorrow for 5 more minutes.